road called Gethsemane. And he said,
"Sit here while I go over there to pray."
he took Peter and Zebedee's 2 sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them,
"My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and watch with me."
He went on a little further and bowed with his face to the ground, praying,
"My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine."
Then he returned to the disciples and found them asleep. He said to Peter,
"Couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray, so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak."
Then Judas, one of the 12 disciples, arrived with a mob, a crowd of men armed with swords and clubs. They had been sent by the leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the elders. The traitor, Judas, had given them a pre-arranged signal.
"You will know which one to arrest when I greet him with a kiss. Then you can take him away under guard."
As soon as they arrived, Judas walked up to Jesus.
"Rabbi!"
He exclaimed, and gave him the kiss. Then the others grabbed Jesus and arrested him. At daybreak, all the elders of the people assembled, including the leading priests and the teachers of religious law. Jesus was led before this high council, and they said,
"Tell us, are you the Messiah?"
"I tell you, you won't believe me. If I ask you a question, you won't answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated in the place of power at God's right hand."
So you're claiming to be the Son of God?
"You say that I am."
Why do we need any further witnesses? You yourself heard him say it.
Meanwhile, Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. A servant girl came over to him and said,
"You? Well, the one with Jesus the Galilean?"
but Peter denied it in front of everyone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Later, out by the gate, the servant girl noticed him again and said to those standing around her,
"Look, this man was the one with those men with Jesus of Nazareth."
I don't even know the man.
A little later, a bystander came over to Peter and said,
"You are one of them. I can tell by your Galilean accent."
Curse on me if I'm lying. I don't know the man.
and immediately the rooster crowed. And suddenly, Jesus' words flashed through Peter's mind. "Before the rooster crows, you will deny 3 times that you even know me." And he went away, weeping bitterly. The leading priests, the elders, and the teachers of religious law, the entire High Council, met to discuss their next step. They bound Jesus, led him away, and took him to Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate spoke to Jesus.
"Are you the King of the Jews?"
"You have said it."
Then the leading priests kept accusing him of many crimes.
Insurrection!
He
said
blasphemy! Threatening to tear down the temple,
Saying he's the Son of God. 3 days and he'll make it again.
So Pilate asked them,
"Aren't you going to answer them? What about all these charges they're bringing against you?"
but Jesus said nothing, much to Pilate's surprise. So to pacify the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them.
Centurion, release Barabbas.
Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified.
Take him.
Then Pilate had Jesus flogged with a lead-tipped whip.
Scourge him.
The soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, mocking him.
He said he was a king. Where's that king?
And then they put a purple robe on him.
Colour of an emperor.
And they mocked him.
Fool. Fool, you thought you were a king.
And when they saw him, the leading priests and temple guards began shouting,
Crucify him! Crucify him! Everybody! Crucify him!
"Crucify him!"
Take him yourselves and crucify him. I find him not guilty.
Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify your king.
We have no king but Caesar!
Then Pilate turned Jesus over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus away.
I wash my hands of this affair. Centurion, take him away.
The cross was very heavy. A passerby named Simon, who was from Cyrene, was coming in from the countryside just then, and the soldiers forced him to carry Jesus' cross.
Take it, man.
Simon was the father of Alexander and Rufus.
Roman with me.
Daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me, but weep for your children.
Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with Jesus. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross. And the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. Jesus said,
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
standing near the cross were Jesus' mother, his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Clopas, Jesus saw his mother standing there beside the disciple he loved, he said to her,
This is your son. And this is your mother.
and from then on, this disciple took her into his home. By this time, it was about noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone. And suddenly, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. Then Jesus shouted,
Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands.
and with those words, he breathed his last.
Truly that man was the Son of God.
When you come into your kingdom, Jesus, remember me. When you come into your kingdom.
As evening approached, Joseph, a rich man from Arimathea, who had become a follower of Jesus, went to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body.
Centurion, release the body to this man.
So Pilate issued an order to release it to him. Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a long sheet of clean linen cloth. He placed it in his own new tomb, which had been carved out of the rock. Then he rolled a great stone across the entrance and left. And so the sad story of Easter Friday comes to an end. You might wonder why we still mark the occasion all these years later. But the Easter story doesn't end on Good Friday, and it's what happens next that is all important. 2 days later, Jesus' followers discovered that Jesus had not stayed in that tomb. They met him, alive and in the flesh. Jesus overcame death, and by following him, he invites us to do the same. He says, I am the resurrection and the life.
Those who believe in me will have life even if they die.